Everything from overlanding in your stock rig to full-on LS-powered 2 buggies on stickies. This is the Total Off-Road Podcast. I'm Steve.
And I'm Ian, and welcome back for episode number 75.
We are back, and we are in multiple studios once again. I have officially caught the COVIDs. Did I say that last week? I don't remember.
No, because I think last week you were still your first test thing was negative.
Right, yeah. Last week I didn't have it.
And then it was
right. It was Tuesday.
It was like, well, now I'm positive.
Tuesday I woke up and I was like, ooh, I got a cough. And I was like, I should go get checked. And I went and got a drive-through rapid. And they called me like 30 minutes later, like, yep, you're positive. I was like, fuck. You were positively fucked.
Should I leave the mall now or should I just wait since I'm already here? I'm really close to the front of the line at the cinnamon bun stand. So you tell me, health department. And they'll be like, oh my God. They'll lock the whole mall down or something. It'd be funny.
Yes.
I mean, funny,
Please
not funny, but it would be funny. Yeah. Oh my God, don't move.
Don't move.
Okay, well, but I'm two people back from getting the fucking Cinnabon, so better make it quick because as this line disappears, I'm going to move. So
I'm pulling forward.
I'm pulling up.
Definitely.
Full on news story about how there's like a pandemic outbreak at the mall at the cinnamon bun stand.
There's a rogue. What do they call those? Super spreaders?
A super spreader at the cinnamon roll stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you were at the cinnamon roll stand between 10 a.m. and noon on Tuesday. Anyway,
you are fucked.
You should go get checked for the Ronies. So I got the Ronies. Couple that with last Saturday. Was it last? Not the one that just went by, but the one before that. I was in the ER because I had what they call a PVC, so premature ventral contraction. Basically, like every 8 beats, I'd have what felt like an extra heartbeat because my ventricle would contract on its own, like out of rhythm. And so it was weird. It wasn't affecting me much. I could just feel it. And I was like, I should go get this checked out before it stops doing this.
Yeah. Or just stop pumping altogether, minor details.
Yeah. Or do that too. Yeah. Is this something serious? No. I actually thought it was going to be something else. I thought it was going to be AFib, which would be in the top part of your heart, not the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then I got there like, no, this is PVCs or PCVs or whatever they call it. And they asked me, have you been consuming a lot of caffeine? I'm like, well, I'm drinking like half a quart of coffee a day and sleeping like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, that could probably cause this. I'm like, oh, okay. So I stopped drinking caffeine and hydrated, got some sleep. And after about 4 or 5 days, I don't feel it anymore. I don't know if it's still doing it, but I don't feel it. So that's a good start.
Interesting.
Yeah, I get to go June 1st. I get to go in and get a Holter monitor put on so that they can monitor my heart for 7 days.
Nice.
Yeah, and then after that, I get to go do a echo, I think it is. And they're going to check out everything and look at my heart and see what it looks like. And then I think they want to do labs as well. There's a whole slew of stuff. He's like, hey, how much money do you have to spend? I'm like, none. He's like, cool. How about $5,000? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Let's just rack her up then.
We'll try to keep it affordable for you. You have this, and this test. But yeah, so it's been last week. I just was over last week. And then to top that off with some Ronies.
The Rona cherry on top.
Needless to say, I didn't get shit done. I'm glad I didn't go 4-wheeling though, because then I could have been like subjecting them to that.
Spreading the Ronas.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Nobody wants
don't want to spread the Ronies to nobody. So were we going to talk about? Okay, we had a few things on the list of things we wanted to talk about today. One of them was like trailer mods.
Yep.
And upgrades. The other one was, how's your side-by-side coming along?
Yep.
And then Mike, once he gets to the studio, we'll be talking about his wheeling adventure.
Yep.
So which one do you want to start with? You want to start with trailer stuff, or do you want to start with oh, there he is.
Yep. The dog woke up.
He's so angry.
Will not be enjoying Mike's company. Mike probably mad, so he's going to like fight the dog. And the dog,
That's wonderful.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
He's so angry.
Yeah. It's going to be a real
Why is this so much more enjoyable from this end rather than when I'm sitting in the studio?
I don't know, but
when
I got
I'm in
the
studio,
same.
I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, like right now I have the same, like, I could just picture like what's going on out there. I just picture like fur flying and like Mike's shirt getting ripped to shreds. Like, I mean, just crazy shit happening. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like some like hardcore shit's going on.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What do you do? It's good times. And he has a bush latte. So know it's going to be a good time there.
I have no beers.
Where'd the chair? Did somebody steal your chair? Okay. I guess your chair, Steve, you didn't show up for a week, so your chair got repossessed, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You know, Catherine's Creations always getting in there and stealing that extra chair.
Yeah. Because like when I had my foot up on the third chair in here, I was all comfortable. Then I like pointed Mike to sit down, and I'm like, it's like, there's no chair. And I'm like, oh, well, look at that. Your chair did get actually repossessed.
You're loud as shit. You need to turn your volume down.
Do what?
So you're loud as shit.
Well, your volume level is where Steve's volume level. Let me turn your volume down to where Steve's normally, where yours is.
So where's Mike sitting? Is he sitting in his seat or my seat?
I'm in the COVID chair.
He's sitting in his seat, at my microphone
position. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, my God. He just licked your microphone.
Now
is his mic on?
It doesn't sound
feel like his
like
mic's on.
It's not on at all.
Yeah, it's on.
Well, you can't hear me very well.
That's because I had it gain
talking right into it.
Bit. I got to turn it up just a little bit.
I was going to say, yeah, we're not hearing old Mike very well.
There you go.
Somebody go kick Nugget.
He'll fucking pass back out in about 12 to 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's real mad.
We still don't have Mike. Did you turn up the wrong one? Did you gain up the wrong mic?
Nope.
I don't hear me in my headset.
Yeah. All we hear is Mike.
Jesus.
And your
God, are you turning you up?
Oh my God.
I'm clearly turning yours up. How about now?
You're just making everyone else louder, but I still don't hear me.
Poor Mike.
I'm already having a shitty day. Let's just fuck with me some more.
Studio complications.
How about now?
Can you hear me now? Oh, now I can hear me.
So your gain levels on your microphone are like a point higher than the rest of ours normally. So maybe it's just your voice.
Do I sound normal to you now, though?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see.
You're still quiet on my end.
Really? I don't know. Now I can at least hear me.
You're still quiet on my end.
Well, fuck you then.
Christ almighty.
I mean, I can always turn him up later as long as we're getting recording. Is his meter showing that he's getting recorded?
Yeah. Works fine. Working real nice.
That's the important part. As long as we have the audio, I can adjust it all in post.
Yep. It's all doing things.
Hi, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
He's all butthurt.
I am butthurt. I drove to town 3 fucking times today.
Third time's a charm. That's how it works.
Third time's a charm.
Fuck, I was practically at Ian's house earlier, but I didn't stop because we weren't podcasting, but now we are.
Steve's stubborn.
I don't understand. I must have missed somewhere where it said we're not podcasting.
I suggested it. Mike agreed. You went rogue, and then
I went
called
rogue.
me, and then it transferred over to a you and I conversation
that I wasn't part of.
And then Mike got hosed.
So I'm just sitting at home drinking a beer, and it's like, why aren't you at the studio? I'm like, why would I be at the studio?
Because we're recording a podcast
Well,
that you were going to be in.
I wish I'd known that.
Yeah.
I could have been here in 30 minutes instead of an hour and a half.
But you're here now.
It's wonderful. He's getting his pen out. He's about to write a bunch of things down about how his 2-week resignation letter.
To whom it may concern.
I'm done with this shit.
F this, F that, F it all. So we were about to talk about, what did you want to talk about? Trailers or razors first?
We can talk about either one you want.
All the razors.
Yeah. Let's get the razor out of the let's get the razor stuff out of the way.
So
give the people the turbo golf cart information that they need.
I got the 7-minute race discount from Off-Road Anonymous from Jacob. That was awful nice of him to give me and I literally don't mean like 7-minute race discount. Haha. No, the discount code on the invoice was 7-minute race discount. And I was like, that's funny. So I got that. I got the control arms. I went with the Super ATV high clearance 1.5 inch forward, upper and lower control arms. So I got all those. Got the Super ATV Rhino 2.0 axle. Only one. So I'll just upgrade the other ones as I break them. Got that from ORA. He's like, yeah, it'll be, I think I ordered it Wednesday. And then he's like, well, it'll be there Friday. And I was like, well, that's kind of quick. Thursday, I come home, there's a pile of parts on the porch. So I was like, wow. Literally, like next day. Yeah, it was kind of impressive. So make sure if you need Super ATV parts, Jacob with ORA is a Super ATV dealer. So look your shit up, hit him up. And then literally, I don't know what he does, but like Super ATV is always usually quick. But like that was some next day shipping shit that I know I didn't pay for. So
are they close by?
I don't actually know. They're across the street or something. That'd be kind of
That's
funny.
your next door neighbor.
I don't actually know where they're out of. Let me Google it. They're out of Madison, Indiana. So
that would explain
that would explain the quickness. I like it. So anyway, make sure you hit up Off-Road Anonymous if you need Super ATV stuff because he is a dealer. So got the lowers put on and I only did the driver's side right now, but I got the lower put in. That was no problem. There was nothing was tweaked or bent or foobarred there. The front mount was fine. The rear mount on the upper, it was like the arm pushed down and back. And what's odd, every tab on every like mount tab for your upper and lower control arm mounts are double shear on this razor, except for your upper, rear, front mount, because there's 2 mounts for each end of the arm. So the rear of the upper mount is a normal tab, and then it's gusseted and then, plated back into the frame. The front one is literally just a fucking tab. So it took that front tab and bent it down and back. And the back is no problem because you just whack the shit out with a hammer. And then I use the porta power between the floor and that tab to kind of push it back up to where it was lined up. But that tab has now been tweaked down and now pushed back up.
Right.
And for whatever reason, that is the only tab on all of those mounting points that are not, it's not gusseted, it's not double shear, it's nothing. Seems like a piss poor design to me.
So what's your plan? Are you going to gusset it or are you going to reinforce it or what?
I went through my little box of, I have like this box of just random tabs and gussets and shit that I acquire. Or I'll just buy extra and then have on hand. And I found some nice little triangle gussets. I'm going to, because the frame, it like runs perpendicular, I guess. So it's like a T, but there's just nothing. So I can put a nice triangle gusset in there, weld that up, and not have a problem with that again, hopefully. But yeah, so I'm going to weld that up. So then I was talking to Jacob about, because he's running the factory lower chassis. I mean, like everything from basically the chassis plate with the, control arm mounts up is all custom on his. But he was looking at his and he had a bunch of like weld washers and stuff welded in and gusseted up off his front bumper. And he's like, I don't know why I didn't gusset that one, but I see what you're talking about it being just a single tab. So I don't know. Just seems like a bad design to me, but I'm not an engineer. So here we are. But anyway, got it bolted on, got all that back on. So the front suspension on the driver's side's all back together. I got my sway bar link yesterday. I haven't put that on yet. And then today I just got the steering tie rod boot to replace the torn one. I got 2, so I'll slide that on and be done. Then comes the frame being tweaked back about 3/4 of an inch. So
Jesus.
I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but I think that was before you got on, Mike.
Yeah, I probably don't know anything about
But the A-pillar got hit square, like it missed the front and it hit the A-pillar. Took that A-pillar and tweaked it back and pushed the bar that kind of runs like your lower A-pillar runs down to the chassis. It pushed that down, and that's where it bent because they have it's a dead node on that tube, and then the lower rail runs below that. It's just kind of a shitty design. But
so what do you do?
So I took said porta power and sat out there and kind of thought about, figured out which way you would have to push what to get it to go the same way. And basically what I've come up with is you have to figure out which way you hit the tree and it pushed on that tube, because you essentially have to push it the opposite direction. So I know we were going into the tree like towards the left, so it was a pretty straight shot on that A pillar, straight back and down. So I went off the back B pillar, which was gusseted in, all the way across, like kind of on a angle to that A pillar bar directly, and just pressed on that. And it actually, shockingly, moved, I don't know, easier. I don't know how much force I was putting on it with this porta power, but it was enough to make you like cover your nuts kind of a thing. Kind of like when you use a press, you kind of start turning away, like running that press handle. You're like, ooh. But then, so I get it bent back to where, because I have the cage just hanging there on ratchet straps from the roof in the garage, so I can see where it needs to be lined up. And I also had gotten the inner door, a new inner door frame. So I transferred the latch mechanism over and adjusted that door all the way back. So that way, like, I would know how far I needed to move it. And then if you ideally could get it to go a little bit more than that, you could then slide that door forward, because you have some like forward and backwards adjustment on the door. I was just going to be happy if it got to it, period, let alone having, I'd like to adjust my door after tweaking my fucking frame. Like, be awesome. So I start going, and A-pillar lines up, door starts opening and shutting, or like you can open and shut the door perfectly fine. And I was like, okay, well, I know enough from like bending tube that you're going to have some kind of spring back. The problem is when you bend a piece of 1 3/4 120 wall tube, you can measure the spring back based on a degree on a bender. And then you can calculate that on your previous or, next bend. So you're like, no. I'm like, what's the spring back on the pushing on the A pillar from the B pillar on a razor chassis? I don't fucking know. So I went probably about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch past where I needed to go, and then just let it off and like, let's just see what happens. Open the door, or go to shut the door and the door doesn't shut. I was like, oh, fuck.
No spring back.
Here's the thing. I forgot that I set that door all the way back. So I was like, So I adjusted that door looking off the other side. It was about right in the middle. So I put it there, pushed that door shut, and it just, it was like fucking symphony music going off, because that door just latched perfectly. You can open that door, open and shut like one finger. Beautiful. A-pillar, you could just like slide the bolt through the cage.
Wow.
Perfect.
So the moral of the story is, if you have a razor, you need a porta power.
You need a porta power. I'm like, I'm going to have to borrow this from the shop now, because I need this. So then my other plan is now to go between those two bars on the lower A pillar and put a big triangle, like fucking gusset in there, because that frame is obviously that one bar has pushed down and now it's back straight, but I'm just going to gusset the fuck out of it.
And you'll find the next weak point.
Yeah. And the thing is, I've kind of come to I'm like, oh, this is a shitty fucking design. Why would you run a dead tube right there? The whole point with tube is you run that all the way down to the bar. That energy goes through that bar. It absorbs it and pushes it farther through the chassis. However, when you think of it and how it should be versus a production side by side, it makes sense. Like, Polaris side of things, their job with that chassis is a one-time protect me from tacoing a tree and be able to walk away and like absorb that energy. So it's got essentially it's like a crumple zone in a fucking car.
That makes sense.
That like it's designed to fold and take that energy and absorb it so that the passenger can just walk away. They don't give a shit about the frame being tweaked after you hit a tree.
It's a very valid point. It'd be like if we complained about cars and trucks being like, well, I got in an accident and the front end fucking crumbled. It's like, well, it's supposed to.
Designed to. So I kind of had that, like, I was kind of like, well, that's a fucking stupid idea. You know, why would you design a chassis like that? And I'm like, they designed the chassis like that so that you can walk away from it one time. They don't give a shit about you. Like, to them, it's a throwaway machine. You hit a tree, that's what you have insurance for. You total it out, they replace the chassis, whatever. Move on. To me, I'm like, fuck all that. Like, why's my fucking machine broke? But I walked away from it. So when you think about it from that, it's kind of just an interesting concept.
Yeah, because what if nothing gave? How much more beat up would you be?
Well, and that's what you look at how it comes factory. Non-suspension seat, regular car style seat belt. No head and neck restraint, no helmet, you know, so they assume that you're going to wear the bare minimum. You're going to wear a t-shirt and Crocs and go riding and hopefully wear your seatbelt, you know. They're not planning on me running 5-point harnesses, head and neck restraint, helmet, you know, all this extra shit.
That's a good point.
And so for me, I'm like, well, that wasn't a bad hit, but I guarantee you if we weren't wearing all that extra stuff, you would have felt it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if it's enough to move that frame 3/4 of an inch, it was a solid hit. But
without having the 5-point harnesses,
oh yeah, it would have hurt a little bit, I think.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
So I don't know. I came to that, like, I was kind of mad and I was like, who's a stupid chassis like? I'm like, well, hindsight, it kind of is, but it's designed to be. So
it's not a race car. You're making it a race car.
I'm just gonna have to keep plating shit up and let it ride.
Like he said with Polaris, like their job is to make sure that it crumples instead of throwing you through the windshield, you know. Essentially.
It's designed to wreck good one time and you walk away. And after that, like the car did its job. You got in a front end accident, crumple zone, airbags, all that. Yep, totaled out. Car, you survived. Move on. And I'm like, it's very interesting.
Exactly.
Because you think of it as like a toy, whereas like hindsight, it's, you know, it's a production vehicle.
That's a valid
point. It's just interesting. So I had all those thoughts of Zen while I was porta powering my fucking Razor chassis back together. But moral of the story is it's all back together. I need to weld in a couple gussets. I'm going to gusset the upper control arm mount on the other side, but I'm not going to fuck with the A-pillar because I don't feel like it's justified until you fuck it up. So that's all done. I need to, my intercooler is supposed to be here Thursday, I think. So I need to change that out. Then I can put all the plastic back on and make it look like a Razor again. And then we should be good to go. Hopefully good to go.
Right.
Nice. That's all I got. Nice.
Well, at least you made progress.
Oh, I was pretty excited when those arms, and I had that little bit of arm, you know, that one tab. I'm like, I can work with this. It wasn't like, you know, you start putting that, I just had like horish nightmares of like, you put this arm up there and it's like not even close to like where it's supposed to go. And you're like, oh God, you know, like what, it's junk then. So of course I'd already priced out because that front, you can do the front piece of chassis. It's from about where I don't know. It's probably about where your thigh is when you sit in the seat forward. You can replace that all as one, and it's like $2,000. And I'm like, oh Christ. My God. Yeah, because I was like, oh, cool, you can buy that. How much? $2,000? Like, no, thank you. So, yeah, I don't even know what you do at that point. I guess you call your insurance and total it, but I don't want to do that.
Do you have full coverage on the Razor?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Like if you literally total it and they're just like, all right, new Razor.
It's literally like, because I called the insurance company and was like, I want insurance, but I don't know how this works because I've never had an off-road rig that's insurable.
Right.
So I want, if somebody steals it, I want a new one. If the fucking house burns down, I want a new one. Other than that, I don't give a shit because I'm going to go fuck this thing up. And the lady's like, yeah, that's not how that works. And I'm like, okay, so how about you tell me how it works then? And she goes, well, it's literally just like a car. You have, you know, I don't even know the numbers off my head. You have a X amount of dollar deductible. You can up that from like a, you know, $500 worth. I think I have $1,000 deductible because I'm like, it's a very rare chance I'm going to call you and say this thing's fucked.
So wait, you have like, there's like comprehensive, there's collision, like all that shit.
So you know how you go through and you pick your deductible, and obviously your price varies based on that a little bit. Then you go and you're like, what do you want coverage limit wise? Like $250,000 a comp or all this crap. And they're like, we literally just took your truck insurance policy and just gave you the same coverage terms as what your truck, because I have a little bit higher than like what state minimum would be as far as like coverage limits. So they're like, well, we just move that over. We can move those numbers down or up or whatever you would like to do. It's literally like if I run you over with my razor, my insurance, it's like I fucking just hit you with a car.
That's fucking weird.
So I don't really.
I guess I get it. It's just weird.
I just don't know, like, off road. And I'm sure there's some stipulation about like racing, but like if you're over at the Badlands just having a good time and you just taco this fucker and it's junk, I assume you just call your insurance company. It's like, yo, I fucked up. And they're like, send out an adjuster, or I don't know. You pay
send it to the body shop and they'll porta power it.
You pay $1,000 deductible and they write up this. It needs a $2,000 frame, needs fucking couple $100 in control arms, all this shit. It's totaled.
It's weird to even think that is a thing. Like you're going to the body shop, you like tow your razor there, and the estimator comes out. He's like, I know how to do this too. Yep. And you're like, really? And he's like, sure do.
Fuck, you go to like Polaris training school. You know what I mean? Like,
how the hell do they know how to do that?
Somebody has to learn how to do it, but
that's weird.
It's literally no different than a car.
Okay, so will it be the same if you had like a dirt bike or an ATV, or is it specific to like side-by-sides? That's just so weird.
I've never had an off-road toy that I put insurance on.
Until now.
And all I was worried about is like if somebody steals it out of my garage, I would just like another one. Or if the house burns down, I'd like another one.
So just to be clear, you could have just got liability, where it literally is just like, oh no, I guess that wouldn't be a liability. That'd be at least comprehensive to where if somebody steals it.
Yep.
That's so weird.
It blew my mind.
Okay.
And it's not that expensive, which is the weird thing, because you're like, so I can total this out, call you up, pay $1,000. Gap insurance covers whatever else is, it covers up to, I think it was $5,000 worth of aftermarket stuff.
Damn.
And then it's like, I just get another one. Like,
pretty much.
It seems a little too good to be true.
It's weird because it's something that you plan to go out and like destroy. Whereas like you don't plan to destroy your like Ford Contour.
No, I don't want to go total my daily out, like, so I just, it's weird to me, but
I'm going to go roll this thing 7 times down a hill. So I'm sorry, I'm freaking out.
So you can get full coverage on your fucking side-by-side, I guess.
Does it have a 17-digit VIN number?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if it's 17. I'm going to assume it's 17. It's got a long ass VIN number. Yeah. Because they just ask for the VIN number and then like, oh, it's a 2021 Polaris XP Turbo Gray Ghost color. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Wow.
The whole thing seems weird to me, but it's good information to have. I mean, for anybody that's got a side-by-side, they might not know. Yeah. You might just buy one and just go play with it.
Yep.
I mean, if I bought a dirt bike today, I wouldn't go call my insurance company. I'd just go fucking jump shit. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even think about it.
Here's the interesting thing I found out. If you go to the dealership and buy a car or a truck, you are required to have full coverage because of the lending institution requires you to have coverage. If
you're not paying cash, yes, you have to have full coverage.
Not the case on side-by-sides.
That's weird.
It's dangerous is what it is.
Well, yeah, because you could just have no insurance on it.
You could go total it out and wad it up.
And then be like, sorry, I'm not going to pay for this anymore. And they're like, but you should. And you're like, nah.
Yeah. And then you just default on that loan.
I mean, granted, your credit goes to shit, but also
it'd be bad.
Sucks for them.
Yeah. So, you have that option. Because I was like, do I have to have insurance? Thinking it was like a car. I was like, do you have to get insurance on this if you finance any of this? And they're like, nope. See this page right here? It's like a fucking full page about how you're responsible for this loan regardless of condition of the vehicle and all that. And I'm like, oh boy.
But I mean, that's just true either way. If for some, I mean, like, it's true either way. It's just you get the insurance on the car because you have to.
Yeah.
But it's weird that it's not required.
Yeah. Like you can't go to buy a $70,000 pickup and not have insurance on it because the loan company is like, nope, you have to have insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's required. I don't know if it's required by law or just by the loan company, but it's definitely required.
It's probably required by them. I mean, obviously insurance is like a law requirement.
Sure, but you could go get liability.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what intrigued me about it is like the insurance coverage is like a car, but you don't even have to fucking have insurance. So
it's all very odd.
It's weird, but I think it's still so new and all that I think they don't necessarily You know what I mean? Like something has to change here in the next few years, I would think, because let's be honest, I spent $1,000 fixing that. I could have called my insurance company, totaled it out for $1,000. And then what? They just I guess they could just raise your rates a fuckload to where you don't want to have insurance again, I guess. But
I suppose they could. Or they may have fixed it. Maybe you wouldn't have had to fix it. Maybe it would go to the razor body shop. I don't know who these people are that like,
you know what I mean?
Do
like,
wrecked razors, but
you just see a lot on like the internet when I was looking for like, I'm going to buy a wrecked one used. You see a lot of like 2020 and 2021 razors that have 12 miles on them that are like some guy rolled it down a fucking cliff or something and it's like tacoed. I get it now.
Yeah.
So like, do they just, that frame's $4,000. It's total.
The insurance buys it back and then they just sell it at
auction anyone for $15,000 because somebody wants to buy it for the drivetrain. It's a weird market. It's very weird, but I think it's all evolving as it becomes more popular. But
it's just weird because there's this middle ground. You know, you used to just have like toys, like ATVs, dirt bikes, whatever, and you had cars and trucks. And now all of a sudden there's this weird middle thing that's like the size of a car and costs more than a car.
Yep.
But it's an off-road only vehicle. And it's like, what do we do with you?
Yeah.
You should have plates.
We'll profit on your desires.
What do we do? Profit.
Profit.
It should definitely have plates. Like they should be platable in the state of Illinois.
And they are in some states.
Just put some turn signals on that bitch. You're good to go.
Turn signal. I mean,
I'm saying
the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers that we get for work, they're the Polaris Ranger. Like it's like their commercial line. It's a fucking Polaris Ranger. But the windshield, it's a glass DOT, like it's a fucking car window in this cab.
Wow. It's like laminate glass and everything.
Laminate has the DOT stamp on there. Like, I mean, it's a DOT certified glass window.
Wow.
But like, I don't see why you couldn't get that seatbelt. You don't have airbags is the only thing.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
I mean, I don't know. What do you do?
I just don't see why you even need that. Like, as long as you're wearing glasses, how is it any different than riding a motorcycle?
I agree.
That's
completely.
a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not required to have airbags on your motorcycle yet.
Nor turn signals. Like
it's a fucking cushion. It's like a life raft that just pops out and you just hopefully land in the lifeboat.
That'd be amazing.
God. So yeah,
I'm just saying, like, isn't it weird how we have like these certain laws for like not like, oh well, it's got doors and seats, so it's different than a motorcycle. Like it needs to have airbags. Like what? No, motorcycles don't have airbags.
Yep.
Why does a different vehicle have to have airbags?
Because not profit. That's why.
Motorcycles have ejector seats. That's about it.
That's it. Yeah. Well, you just assume the risk when you're when you're on a motorcycle.
Yes. So that's all I got on Razor stuff, which is nice because it's all going back together. It still looks like crap because it has no plastic from about the door forward, so it looks goofy, but it all bolts on, so that's the key.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I was very, very relieved with that.
So did you guys watch this past week, did you guys watch Jeremy redo his trailer?
I saw the picture.
Yeah, I saw a photo of it with 2 axles under it, and I made the comment that it had 5,000 pound axles, and he claims that they're 6,000 pound axles. However, they are 6 lug, so I don't know how that works.
It's all on the hub.
Well, 6 lug hub is 5,000, isn't it?
Theoretically,
I don't know.
The problem is let me preface this with saying I am not a fucking expert here. This is when I was looking at a new trailer like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. I was speccing out a 24-foot enclosed trailer, and I was wanting to haul. I don't even know what the fuck I had at the time, but I was looking at axles.
Yep.
So you can get a 5,200 pound axle, and you're like, okay, 6 lug.
Yep.
6 lug hub. And you're like, okay, what if I want 7,000 pound axles? But then you would start to find, then you would go to 8 lug.
Yep.
You would start to find 6,400 pound axles. I think it was a 62 or 64, something weird. And you're like, what the fuck's the difference?
Never heard of
those.
Because
they were 6 lug.
Okay.
So you're like, well, how in the hell? Because I've always known, like, beginning of time, 6 lug or 8 lug trailer at hub. That was it.
So,
it was one or the other.
Or 5 lug if you want to go.
Yeah, if you want to go like
axles
trailer or boat trailer or small utility. But
or your trailer.
My trailer. Does it have 5 lug?
Your trailer's 5 lug.
So
It
I'm
might
looking right
be.
here on.
It's only got 3,500 pound axles in it.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it hauls fucking Razor like a butte.
Champ.
So that was
I'm
my
looking
always thing. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm on the Trailer Parts Outlet, and they sell a TK, which is your TK trailer axles are like your Dexter. I don't want to call it a knockoff, but it's like your alternative.
Mm-hmm. Just a
So-
cheaper version, I'm assuming.
High quality, better, like lower price. So
Yep.
it's a arched 6,000 pound axle, 6 lugs, electric brake, $600 a piece.
So what makes
they're-
that hub a 6,000 hub versus a 5,000?
It's
That's
got to
those
be
questions,
something
man.
with bearing sizes.
Yeah, it's got
Yep.
something's got to be bigger because
Yeah.
the 6 lug itself is the same. It's still 6 on 5.5, I
Yep.
assume.
It just says like this one here is like 5,200 pound bearing capacity or capacity bearing.
Yep.
Was like bought with this axle. Like,
It's just a
oh,
different.
you know what?
It's a
No, I
different.
think it's the tube
bearing.
diameter. I think the tube diameter is part of it.
And it very well may be. I don't know.
Maybe it's
This
just
has
tiny
got
bit
3
bigger.
inch
That makes it
tubes.
6.
Maybe it's the same hub with a bigger tube.
It's got
Could be.
1/2 inch studs, and it has 12 by 2 brakes,
Could be the brakes
And
are a
it has
little
a-
bigger. I mean, who knows?
and it has a 3,000 or a 3-inch tube.
Yeah.
So this here says internal components has the 5,200 to 6,000 capacity bearing kit. So it's actually it's a bearing kit.
Hmm.
It's a difference in bearing apparently.
What I've learned when I was pricing
Very
this
interesting.
trailer out and trying to spec one out and all this was you'd find a lot of trailer manufacturers would put a bigger trailer on smaller axles. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's to save money. Like you would find a bigger
Yeah.
trailer on like 6 lug axles and you'd be like, wait a second. If you load that trailer out to capacity, those trailer axles are overloaded. Like the trailer chassis will
Feels good.
hold the weight.
Like
of
it's literally like
whatever.
a 14,000 pound trailer that had 10,000 pounds worth of axle under it.
Yeah,
Weird.
because it drops the price down.
I mean, I guess.
Well, like-
And how many people do you know that have a trailer that really look at how much weight's on it? Majority of the people are, I want a car hauler. Dude, you're hauling a
Well, we
fucking
saw-
dually diesel on your car hauler. And you're
Right.
like, no shit, it's going down the highway. Does it all the time. Once
Yep.
in a while, something fucking tire or hub falls off, and you're like, no shit, it's overloaded. But
Yeah.
a majority of the population doesn't give a fuck.
That's a good
Mike
point.
and I saw
that's
that when
why
we were
I
in
think
Kansas.
they make that extra dollars.
Right, Mike?
What's that?
We saw that firsthand when we were at KC
Oh, yeah.
when we picked the vans up.
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
Let's put this 1-ton van on this little trailer.
It was a 3/4 ton van, and it was on the back of a
Like a
it was on
15
16
foot or 16
It was
foot
short.
trailer, and like the whole van's like 18 foot long. And
yeah.
Yes.
there's so little tongue weight that when he loaded it, it picked the back
Oh.
end of the truck like 2 feet
Oh,
off the
my
fucking ground.
Lord.
They
yeah.
completely lifted that rear axle off the ground.
But
And it was
see,
on-
he's
and
the
it was on,
majority
like-
of the trailer buyers right there.
Yeah.
Well, it was his dad's trailer. They had it for like 20 years.
Yep.
It was
like you
ancient.
mad, but-
Wood was completely rotten. Holes in the
Yeah.
bed of deck.
Overloaded
Had-
every time it's been used.
Had truck tires on. Didn't even have like trailer
Had
tires
truck
at all.
tires.
Yeah.
That's the worst part right there. I'm like, oh,
Everything about it was sketchy, and then it was undrivable. And they drove it home.
yeah.
They couldn't
And they
use
drove
the
the van
trailer at all.
home.
Yeah, they had to drive the van home.
Yep.
Which I guess works, I guess.
Fortunately, since he got it started.
Say, he didn't have another option, so thank God it worked out.
So the trailer that I use is my dad's trailer, and it's like a budget. It's like a bargain trailer that you buy down in like Sikeston, Missouri, where all the trailer manufacturers are at. And we looked up the other day. Dad was going to call them and ask them about the whole spring deal, like the springs, the axle being so close to the frame. And I look up their website, and they don't even make car trailers anymore. The only thing they make now are head carriers for like combines. That's the only thing they make.
They dabbled
And I
in
was
it
like,
and made
oh,
some money.
that's
and
interesting.
Took off running.
They were like, "Oh, we
Yeah,
made these
they-
real bad."
Somebody showed up and said they needed a head cart, a head cart. They made one. They're like, we made a lot of profit on that. We should start making more of these.
We should make more.
Right? Seems to work.
So
Yeah.
nonetheless, the trailer is like a 2001. It's an
That's
older, it's like a
newer than I
19-year-old trailer or something
expected.
like that. Huh? Newer than you expected?
Yeah, I was expecting you to say
Really?
like mid '90s or something.
No. It's a 2001 or 2002.
I mean, 2000 is 20
it's still
years
20
old.
years old,
So.
but
Right. It's still a 19-year-old trailer, yeah. But I think it's just, it's a bargain. They cut every corner they could building it, and so I'm kind of like putting it back together, making it a little bit better than it was. So my plan is to go through and change a few things, but like obviously I already did the wiring, want to do the paint. The wood needs replaced in the floor for the fucking third or fourth time.
you treat that
We've
deck.
already done it. I think we've already done it twice.
Not enough.
Huh?
Said not enough.
Not enough what?
A treat.
Of treat?
Not enough treat. You said you've done it twice. I'm like, clearly that's not enough. You need to do it like more than that.
No, we've replaced the deck twice.
Oh, replaced it. Oh, shit. I was just saying treat the deck every couple of years. Don't worry about replacing it.
What do you guys treat the deck with?
I don't know. Linseed oil is not what the kids are using these days.
I've heard of people using. See, I've never treated a wood deck because mine's metal, but
yeah,
I've heard of people using old motor oil.
I have read a lot that people like doing that. I think I'm going to use the right stuff though, but the right stuff's like $200, and used motor oil's free $99.
Yeah,
so.
but like, wouldn't it turn your wood like black,
slippery?
Yeah,
like for a little while.
Slippery and
for a little while,
yeah.
Like
but then lay on it,
becomes fine. I guess.
Like I don't want to lay on it. Really?
That's what you have to talk to the internet about that one.
I'll have to consult with the internet because I don't like. Yeah, how do you put used motor oil on your wood and then lay on it later? Like, because I lay on my wood when I'm like strapping my shit down.
That's a good point. You don't want to be covered in oil.
That's why I love my steel deck trailer because I don't have to worry about wood.
That's an option. I mean, I can put a steel deck on it. I just don't want to. That trailer, if I put a steel deck on that thing, do you think the steel deck's heavier than the wood deck?
No, I think it's lighter.
You think so?
Yeah. Thinner. Wood is pretty dense.
It's only a 3/16. I think it's if it's even a 3/16. I bet it's thinner than that.
3/16 thick.
I bet it's thin. You're probably right.
But you have to put all the framing underneath of it to hold that.
It doesn't have as much as you would think. I don't think, to be honest with you. Wow. And then, I mean, but you think about a board. It's going to get wet. It's going to get heavy when it gets wet. I don't know. I honestly would have to bet you that I think a steel deck trailer, I mean, comparable like a car hauler. I'm not talking about some like, holy shit, like super gooseneck, whatever the fuck you could come up with. I'm sure there are heavy steel deck trailers out there, but like simple car hauler that has a steel deck, I bet is lighter. I know that trailer I have is light. And I think that's why it pulls so good.
I'm fixing up this trailer and making it nice again. And like I was gonna go take it down and have it powder coated, like have it sandblasted and powder coated. Because I mean that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna do that with mine too, and I chickened out with my wallet.
Yeah, your wallet just cheap. I mean, not as cheap as like spraying paint on it, but still not expensive.
No,
it wasn't $500.
It wasn't bad. It was just one of those like you could buy. I think what I ended up doing was using just black Rust-Oleum and then thinned it out and sprayed it with a Harbor Freight HVLP gun for like,
probably cost you $100
if that. And it's so that I just went the cheap route. And hindsight, powder coat would have been way better because now it's already, I mean, it's probably 2 years old, maybe 3, and it's starting to see like rock chips and wear. Where I mean, prep was hot water, pressure wash, degrease, and fucking send it. So for what it wasn't bad. But you're right that powder coating is the right way to do it.
The powder coating would be the way to do it. But let's be honest, like for something you're going to use for off road like that, like if you powder coat it, every time you make a modification of the trailer, you have to like paint it, and it's not going to match the powder coat.
Welcome to my Polaris Razor chassis now. I'm like, how do I re-powder coat this after I weld on it? I'm like, you don't. You paint
just paint it.
Yes.
Yep. And that's like, I was thinking about powder coating it, but now I'm like, after seeing Jeremy redo his, I'm like it looks pretty damn good for just throwing some paint on it.
Yeah. And let's be honest, if you did that, what, 2 or 3, every 2 or 3 years or so?
Yeah.
I think you're on the right track.
It'll stay nice for a long time, right? So yeah, my plan is with that trailer is just I'm trying to get it nice enough to where I can tow it around. So right now the big thing is getting those springs set up so that it doesn't bottom out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is annoying.
Yes.
And I think it's been that way its entire life.
Probably has.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I'm going to do an axle flip or if I'm just going to do like a lift kit. I'm thinking about a lift kit because I think an axle flip is going to be too much. It's going to look it might look a little silly. I don't know.
I think it will because I'll have to go back and see. I'm sure I have a picture of mine with the OEM fenders on it after doing the lift kit. And but I mean, as far as ease of doing it, you got electric brakes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally like I just cut the wires and then pulled the axle. I mean, you just knock the U-bolts out, pull the axles out, took them in the garage. I left the old spring perches on it, welded the new ones on, put it back in there.
You welded new perches to it.
Oh, yeah.
Are your axles bent though?
I don't know.
Like, are your axles arched?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So like my axles don't have any arch to them. So I could literally just unbolt the 4-bolt hubs.
Yep.
Just rotate the axle 180 degrees and bolt the hubs back on.
Oh, well, that seems like
no changing of perches or anything. And then the front ones are even easier than that because the front ones don't have axle or don't have brakes. Or no, the rear axle doesn't have brakes. So like the rear axle is literally just pull it out, like unbolt the leaf spring, rotate it, put it back in.
So
is it a dovetail?
It is not.
So the only thing I'd consider is, are you using this just for a Jeep or cars too?
Or like mower or something
mowers
like that.
Or just anything that you need that extra clearance.
Right. Well, Dad's got a set of like 10-foot aluminum ramps.
Good Lord.
That's a long ramp.
Yes.
We can get anything we want on that trailer.
So do it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. It's like, that's my thought. My dad was like, oh man, if you lift it up that much, it's going to really look funny in those fenders, you know? And I was like, well, we'll lift it. And then when we put the new fenders on, we'll drop the fenders.
Yeah, that's what I did with mine because I just put new fenders on. And then I didn't drop them as low as they were because I just measured from like the top of the tire to the opening. I did not drop them as far as they used to be because I always thought they rode a little close. Like you'd stick your hand up on that tire and you'd be like, oh man, that's kind of like if it'll ride, but it'll rub too at the same time. You're like, ew. So I left it about, I don't know about split the difference, but it's definitely higher than like a normal car haul trailer.
Right.
But I don't think it looks bad now.
My other option is, so on that trailer, they stopped the lower, so like the part that's the tongue, like where the tongue is all that, you know, that goes underneath the frame. They stopped that right before the fender starts. Or like right where the fender starts. So it's like there's this point where like the trailer, that's like I guess I would call it the fulcrum. So like anytime you put load on the back of the trailer, that's the weak point because now it's pulling. That's where everything's like in half.
Yeah, it's bending.
So my thought was, yeah, right. And I've bent it. I've bent that trailer.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yep. Bent that. It's like what the fuck is it? It's L channel. The top piece is L channel. And I think it is 2x4 L channel.
So you've bent the trailer frame.
Yes. I bent it by having it hooked to the back of my truck and trying to pull my Jeep up on it with no blocks on the back of it. So it tried to lift.
How did you unbend it?
Dad, what did we do? Put a load of rock in the skid steer, pulled that up on the trailer, and like as you rolled forward, it straightened it back out.
Wow.
Because now it's got a bow in it.
I'm not looking at Steve. Obviously, we've covered that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Mike, and his face, I would assume, looks about like mine. Of like, bro, you bent the trailer. We've bent the trailer frame back. What you should take that to the scrap yard and start over.
It's fine. It's fine.
I don't feel like the word fine applies there.
I need to fish plate. Right where that's at, so that there's a gusset there, and then I need to put an actual rail underneath of what that's there. So anyway, the reason I was telling you
Mike's
that
brain is sliding down the wall.
Used trailers are not that expensive. Like, I don't even know if I would waste my time.
What do you say?
Used trailers are not that expensive. I would just go buy a trailer that hasn't been bent back twice.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's been.
All you need to do is put something heavy on it and it bends. That kind of tells me it's time. It's done.
6 years ago.
It's
probably 6 or 8 years ago.
Why do you want to say this trailer so bad? Does it have sentimental value?
It's not mine.
Then just hand it away and go get your own. Let someone else deal with that bent shit.
That's the plan. I just want to give my dad a nice trailer before I hand it back off and be like, okay.
I think you're past that point.
When the frame is re-straightened with a bucket full of rock and a skid steer.
I don't think nice qualifies.
Fact.
It works fine. Man, why are you guys hating on my fucking trailer?
I'm just not sure. I'm gonna
because it's not structurally sound.
I'm
anymore.
gonna not follow you with the trailer. I'm gonna lead the group with the trailer. Then, if
I towed that trailer. I wish I had known.
Oh God!
I wish I had known this before.
Yeah,
yeah, and it was fine.
Yeah, I'm towing a lawnmower.
Towing a lawnmower. No, it's fine for the Jeep. Dad uses it for the skid steer. Which weighs about the same as my Jeep. Well, the skid steer weighs about 5,200 pounds until you put a load of rock on it. But that's why I want to go through and fix it up so that it hauls the skid steer better. Like I said, the trailer is fine in terms of like everything that's there is still good. It's not like it's rusted out or anything like that. It just has surface rust on it where the shit paint was at. And then
where the paint's cracked, where the frame's been flexed.
Right there in the middle.
That it is. It's not that. Okay, so it's a fucking car trailer. They're all built out of like goofy, like it's not like they're. Yeah, exactly.
There is no standard quality with trailers. That's a fact.
And especially 20 years ago, there was definitely no standard. And down in Sykeston, like every trailer manufacturer, like somebody gets a job there, learns how to build trailers, and they're like, I can do this on my own. And they go start their own thing.
They learn how to weld.
That's it. And they take off
the production line. And then they're like,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. Sketch.
Me and two other guys can do this. And they go start their own trailer manufacturing. But anyway, what I was going to say is what I want to do the lift kit. I was going to add a 2x2 underneath of the frame, like where that piece stops at from the tongue where that stops at, add a piece of 2x2 square tube there. And then I'll weld the new spring mounts to the 2x2. And then essentially, have like basically a C notch where the axle tube's at. So it'll lift the whole trailer 2 inches, but it will then make it have 3 inches of clearance between the frame and the axle tubes. And it'll also make the trailer more rigid.
I mean, I guess the rigidity
sounds
thing
like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Not really. Like jack it up, super easy. We got a bunch of 55-gallon drums at the shop. I'm just gonna lift it up with a forklift, set the whole trailer on oil drums, and then I'm just gonna cut the axles out from underneath of it, weld in the square tube, weld the new axle tabs, weld the new spring mounts to the tube, and then bolt everything back in.
Hey, speaking of projects that'll only take like 5 minutes, how's that solid axle swap coming?
It's sitting on the side.
I knew you were going there. He had the look. The
Steve's
whole
like,
time.
I'm
He's
just
like,
going to knock
I'm
this
gonna
out.
do it. I'm going to do it. And then he did it. And I was like, oh, I saw that coming for like 5 minutes.
I'm going to knock this out in a weekend.
God.
Huh?
I said, I'm going to knock this out in a weekend.
Yeah, but not when I'm driving the truck.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. You have a bunch of vehicles. Don't you have like 4 running vehicles? Or is it down to 3 now?
I've got, how many do I have? I have 4.
See, you don't have to drive the truck. You have plenty of options.
I told Jess the other day I was going to go cut the roof off the KJ, and then she politely reminded me that I was out of Sawzall blades.
Aw.
How does your wife know how many
that's actually a very good point. How the hell Patty would have a clue?
Well,
yeah.
She was like, so you just going to go grab the Sawzall and just cut the roof off? I was like, fuck, I don't have any blades for that. But I thought about it.
Just call your friends at the fire department and get the jaws of life.
Oh,
be a nice clean job for you.
That would be epic.
The neighbor's actually a volunteer, and he could bring those out.
What is that thing called? The saw that's not the jaws of life, it's the huge saw. Demolition saw? Is that what it's called?
Oh, demolition saw? Yep. Yeah, we talked about that.
CBAB,
couldn't you cut that roof off in like under 5 minutes? Actually, under 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Just
I think for sure. You know, my dad's got at the shop, my dad's got a dual saw. The thing they came up with, one of those firefighters came up with from them using, like when they can't get the jaws of life into somewhere, they use a circular saw.
Yeah.
And this guy, they were doing that in New York or something like that. And they were using a circular saw to cut this car open, and the saw kicked back and killed one of his buddies. And so he came out with the dual saw that has 2 saw blades that go in opposing directions. So it just eats, but it has no kickback ever.
That's an interesting idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see one in action.
Dad's got one at the shop. I can show it to you.
Okay,
you cut the roof off.
Well, either
It's
way,
interesting.
You have multiple tools. You just need to do it.
Just didn't do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
I need to order a tarp. I couldn't go get a tarp either. That's the thing. I couldn't go
You have to
couldn't go to Harbor
order
Freight
a
and get a tarp.
tarp?
You can't just
Yeah,
go to
'cause
the
I can't
store.
go anywhere.
Oh, well, he's got
I'm
COVID.
in
Oh, that's a good point,
isolation.
yeah.
That's the reason I'm not there.
Have your wife pick you one up at Harbor Freight.
I should have had her do that. Yeah. I told her, I was like, man, when I get off of like isolation and quarantine, I was like, I'm going to have to take an entire day and just drive around all the stores and buy all the stuff I haven't been able to buy. She's like, yeah, you're going to go to Home Depot and Menards and like Rural King and Sam's Club. She's like, don't forget Harbor Freight. You're going to have to go to Harbor Freight. I'm like, damn, you're right.
Wow, that's a lot of stops.
I know. I'm just going to spend a whole day just out getting all my all my stuff I haven't gotten.
Shopping.
We go shopping. Post-quarantine shopping trip.
Shopping spree.
He's jumping up in the air, clicking his heels. His purse is flying in the wind.
Harbor Freight tarp blowing behind him in the back.
Wearing it like a cape.
Got the free tarp.
It's like a cape, yeah. and a moving blanket.
Yes.
Free tarp and moving
I
blanket.
started one of those on fire once. It was pretty. I was welding in the close vicinity of one of those.
Oh, they're not fireproof. I use one as a welding blanket all the time.
Really?
Yeah, Harbor Freight moving blanket is my welding blanket. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I was like, this son of a bitch burned real quick.
No,
So I'm like, I don't think it.
I use a wet towel. I'm fancy like that.
So
funny.
you went wheeling, Michael.
I did go wheeling.
Tell us about your wheeling experience.
I'll do my best. I tried to write down a bunch of information, and it's probably going to be kind of discombobulated, but I went wheeling.
Have you listened to the show before?
That's a good point. Well, it's just, I was like, okay, I need to know everyone's first and last names. I need to know their Instagram handles. Like, I was just,
holy crap. We don't do that
there's
much.
so much information on this piece of paper, and it's all kind of written shitty because I'm drinking. So anyway, went wheeling at the Badlands May 14th and 15th. Was planning on wheeling with Steve because it was Friday, but womp womp. So anyway. Sorry, Steve.
Go figure.
I love you, but anyway,
You just gained some followers now, I think.
It's just my life, man.
Yeah.
I know, I get it. I'm just giving you hell. I have to. What would it be like if I
I'm
didn't?
going to go wheeling on Friday. I had like everything. Well, I didn't have everything ready to go because the Jeep still didn't have bushings because the mail, because the whole mail debacle.
The mail's not working currently.
Yeah. They sent the bushings to Champaign and then they sent them back to Iowa.
That
and then
is
they sent them
convenient for
back
you.
to Champaign. Yeah, right.
Did you ever get them?
Fucking
Are they
annoying.
there at your house right now?
They're here, yeah.
Okay,
I
finally.
have now.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went wheeling at the Badlands. Me and Derek were going to try to do the quote Great American Crawl. We were hoping they were going to open up. What's it? Mission Impossible.
Yep.
They did not. And we were only going to do it on Saturday, and it turned out that several people we were going to wheel with did not sign up for the Great American Crawl. So we ended up not doing that at all, but we ran into them. I mean, in their big groups that looked terrible anyway.
Yeah.
So the 14th, me and Derek just tooled around, had beautiful weather. We did basically all the quote hard stuff at the Badlands, and had just, a great day. Patty showed up eventually that night, brought us beer, and we just had a nice night camping. We met up with Eric Gentry and Dave Hansen, his co-pilot, in his 08 JK Rubicon that was heavily modified, and that was actually his shakedown run. Now,
Second shakedown run.
Huh?
Eric Gentry?
Eric Gentry.
Yeah. Second shakedown run. The first one's when he broke the drive shaft.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. So it's a shakedown run since it's been fixed. But the reason we even knew who they were, me and Derek are standing around, and his co-pilot Dave's like, "Where's Steve at?" Because this is on Friday. We met him. Right. And me and Derek kind of look at each other. He's like, "I wonder, who does he mean? Steve Summers? Does he know me? Like, I don't know him." Derek's like, "I don't know him." And he's like, "He probably just knows our trucks." And so we asked, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I saw your Quasar Blue GMC Sierra GT, and I knew that you were Steve's buddy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I guess I'm podcast famous now.
He got the color right.
He didn't got the color right. Dave was a trip. He was a lot of fun. He was a good spotter and just kind of a fun dude to hang out with. So
Eric's a good dude.
Oh, this was Dave. Eric was cool, but Dave was his co-pilot. Dave is just a character. Eric is a cool dude too. He's a little more quiet than Dave, but they're both podcast listeners.
I would have liked to have run into Dave. That'd been fun.
Yeah.
Dave's got the he's got a bouncer that
that's what he's saying.
It's together, but he's not wheeling it. I don't know.
What? Has a bouncer doesn't use it.
He doesn't race it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know anyone else
Repulsive.
like that has a bouncer that doesn't use it?
It's not a race bouncer.
It's not a bouncer. Okay, well, anyway.
It's an overbuilt trail turd.
Well, maybe Dave's is too. I don't know. I've never seen it. So we met up with them on Friday. We did a little bit of wheeling, me and Derek and Eric. And anyway, the next day we met up with Shane Rivers, or the Old Man Rivers on Instagram. He has a 1985 CUCV X fire truck, and it is bad as fuck.
Yeah, but it looks clean as shit.
It's so clean.
And wait, so you said it's a CUCV?
Yes.
So, and what is that?
It's a
K30, but it comes factory
K30
with,
with factory
60
lockers.
14 lockers.
456 gears.
Yes, it's a beast.
It's a beast. Turbo 400. It had a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated diesel.
Wow.
So extra slow, but extra torquey.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that thing was really clean. I mean, it wasn't like clean, like perfect paint, but the body was straight.
It looked pretty good.
and it
clean
was like,
for it.
are you sure you want to go through these
You
trees?
are not allowed to leave the parking lot, mister.
He followed us everywhere. We wanted some tight trails, some trails like it took, Derek, maybe, a good like 5 minutes to get between a couple trees. And then he takes that long bed through there and you're like, oh God. And he just like must have scathed the surface, but he ended up not getting any body damage. He's a pretty good
That's
wheeler.
awesome.
But that truck is super cool and you guys should definitely check it out. He actually towed it there with an old body style Suburban too. So it's just like awesome on top of awesome.
Awesome on
Oh my
awesome.
God, that's amazing.
Awesome.
What'd you say his Instagram handle was?
It's the Old Man Rivers.
The Old Man Rivers.
And his last name is Rivers. It's Shane Rivers. His co-pilot was Brad Bohms. Didn't talk to him a whole lot during the day, but he seemed like a cool dude too. And I'm not sure if he has a wheeling rig or if he was just a good friend of Shane's. But those guys were fun to hang out with. And then, of course, on Saturday, we ran into Growy, M-Grow, Connor Lund, lund.connor on Instagram, and, of course, the famous Derek Lassini.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her, right? Growy's truck. I wish I knew. Do you guys know what year Growy's truck is? I don't know.
It's an 06.
It's an 06?
It's cat eye.
Okay, cat eye, as they say. I kind of hate that, but that's all right.
That's just how I remember it.
The general public says it, so I guess that's all right. Growy, he got to... I was going to say he got to wheel his truck as it's done. That's not entirely true. It already had a shortened wheelbase, but he got his flatbed done for this trip.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking killer looking.
It was pretty awesome. You guys will definitely
Yeah, I
have
was
to check
hoping
that
to
out.
see that.
Yeah, it was nice. He had his taillights zip tied to it. His factory taillights. That was kind of funny. But other than that, it seemed pretty nice. He obviously needs to get lights done. Connor just got done doing a 4-link on the front end, basically completely reworked the front end.
Yeah, he did like a full-on rebuild over the winter.
Oh, yeah. It was that, and this was his shakedown run, I'm
and
pretty
that thing
sure.
wheeled like a champion before he tore it apart. Of course, it's a Toyota, so I mean,
It's like is it a 90s Tacoma? I'm not sure. I wish I knew.
I don't know.
I tried looking on Instagram. I didn't see the year, but it's an extended cab. It's a truggy, basically. It's got, a 2 rear cage. Obviously, 4-link front
but
now.
it was leaf sprung.
It was leaf sprung all around, and now it's leaves in the back,
not.
4-link in the front with coilovers. So that was his shakedown, and it did pretty well. And then, of course, Derek's heavy ass stupid truck, just did normal heavy ass stupid truck things. It's like, our only like Ultra 4 rigs going up this. I guess I'm going to go up it too.
I'll go up that.
That's just Derek for you. He's just like, no matter what, it's like, is this a challenge? I accept. And that was pretty much just Derek all weekend.
Give us the damage report.
Almost none.
That's a good.
Was there even any? Like, I mean, like a little bit of body stuff here and there. I don't think anyone that we wheeled with actually broke.
That's good. That's a great weekend.
I think we even wheeled with a couple other guys I forgot to mention. I think their names are John and Josh. One of them had a stock FJ on like all terrains, like literally not even lifted. And he went pretty much everywhere we did trails wise. And another guy, I wish I knew what it was. It was an old Land Cruiser, like the tiny short ones that are like the size of Jeeps.
Yep.
He had one of those and he had like his wife and his dog with him and they were out wheeling the same trails we were too. And it was just super cool. It was such a diverse group.
Yeah.
I think those guys were friends with Connor.
Huh.
Oh, and the guy in the FJ had never been wheeling before. He was like, this is just my first time out wheeling.
Awesome.
So we had everything from like dedicated professional, damn near professional rock crawlers to like brand new newbies in their street driven rigs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you anybody can wheel.
Get out there and wheel.
Just get out there and wheel.
Yes.
Just go have fun. Oh my God,
Isn't
John
that always
Land.
the case?
John Land showed up and we were like telling him how to get to the quarry, and apparently he went the wrong way, and he gets there and his bedside is just destroyed. We're like,
Jesus.
what did you do? He's like, well, the way I went was just like a rock garden. We're like, no, there's just like mud trails to get back here. And it wasn't even wet. It was just easy. He's like, well, clearly I went the wrong way.
I made a wrong turn.
Oh my God.
And we're like, well, I guess that's a trail rig now.
Yes.
It's like an 11 Silverado.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, he took that truck out.
Yeah, he took that truck out.
I thought he took his OBS out.
That's what I thought too.
No, that truck's long gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why would he take a 2011 pickup off road?
I don't know. It might not be an 11, but it's an 08 to 13 somewhere in there.
And he chocolate the bedside.
He did a number on the front half of like right before the fender well on the passenger side.
Oh, well,
it's
it's the
probably-
passenger side.
It's
You'll
probably
never
rusty
see it.
anyway.
He talks about the truck like it's a piece of shit anyway, so apparently he doesn't care that much.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll solid axle swap it.
Now we're talking.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to
If
take him
we're
like
lucky.
8 years anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he's
it's not
got
an
a
easy
Harley
job.
and a Camaro to worry about, so
Yep.
he's got other things on his mind.
You know,
Race
I'm just
car.
saying, like, it's not an easy job to solid axle a truck. You know,
Well, it takes more than
It's
a
not-
weekend.
It's not just a weekend job.
Unless you're Derek Lassini. I'm sorry, Steve, you don't have that kind of motivation.
Oh, boy.
You want to bet?
I do want to bet.
Here
Oh my
we-
God, do we
here
want to
go.
bet? Because I'll
Here we
bet
go.
right here
Oh,
live.
God.
Do we want to bet right here on the podcast?
I'm glad
I will bet so much money
How
that
much?
you can't get your.
Are we making this? Is this a thing?
How much you want to bet, Steve, that you don't get your solid axle swapped done in a weekend?
And does a 3-day weekend count?
Yes, Friday, Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday.
he gives you 3
Nice.
days.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from nothing to I'm driving around on my Super Duty swapped,
So the
like
stipulation is you have to drive it
running, driving.
in 4-wheel drive or 2.
I'll say 2 because I'm nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's
He doesn't have to
nice.
have a front drive shaft.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes the front drive line angles and all that is a clusterfuck.
Oh, that's definitely going to be interesting to. The good news is that I have long tube headers, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
The long tubes are definitely going to
Yep.
interfere with something.
So you're saying he has to drive
I
it
don't think
down
so.
the street in 2-wheel drive,
Yeah.
and it has to stop.
Yeah, you have to have. I mean, yeah, you have to have.
Preferably.
You have to be able to move forward.
Right.
You have to be able to brake.
And
I mean, like,
steer.
and you can't
What,
push
what
it.
Mike is saying,
Okay.
is I can start Friday morning,
Yep.
and that I can, but I have to drive it to the podcast on Monday.
That sounds fair.
What?
No, that doesn't mean you get Monday to work on it. No, you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday to work on it.
So
I'm saying you got to drive it to Ian's on Monday. Like,
That-
even if you do work on it on Monday, you got to drive it to Ian's on Monday.
I mean, that's fair, but also Sunday night, if you're not done, I'm claiming that
Sunday-
you failed.
Sunday at
Oh.
midnight. This is a monster garage shit.
Sunday at 11:59, excuse you.
11:59. Okay. So what's the dollar figure?
Yeah, what do we have to? We could bet money. We could bet sexual favors, like just whatever.
Sexual favors.
I didn't say it was with us. We could put our wives up on the line. No, I'm
Oh,
just
God.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Good Lord.
Sorry, I had a couple of bush lights.
2 bush lights and he's selling his wife.
Now I'm just like,
Oh,
all
yeah.
right, Patty, you got to do hand stuff with Steve.
Oh, Jesus.
She doesn't listen to this. It'll be fine. Nobody told my wife I said that. All right.
Okay.
So anyway,
I hope
So
not.
back to the how many dollars?
yeah, right.
Oh man.
Are you going to throw out a number, Steve, or is Mike going to throw out
What?
the number?
betting money?
Yeah, oh, I guess.
What do you want to bet?
Nah, just a beer.
A beer.
Well, that doesn't
Just a
seem
beer.
very exciting. I'd just buy beer for a guy. Like, that's not a. Huh.
I didn't know it needed to be that kind of. I mean, if I
bet
want to
you
put money on it, it's going to
$1,000.
happen.
He said any amount of money, so like $1,000.
But Steve knows he's not going to get it done. That's why he wants it to be a beer.
I'm just not that worried about trying to rush it in 3 days so that I can have it done for a bet.
Okay, then how long do you think it'll take?
I can have it done. I know I can have it done in a weekend, but
Oh,
I
he
want-
knows
I
he
mean,
can.
I don't wanna- I know I can have it done in a weekend. I
Another
just don't
left
want
turn.
to bet dollars on. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't know.
This
I
is
don't know.
in this particular weekend scenario. He has no polishing to do, no wife, and no child.
Yeah, nothing. It's a literal binge weekend to get it SAS swapped.
I don't
That's
know.
just it.
So
Like,
is
do I
there
want
a-
to try to do that?
Is
I
there
don't
a
know.
dollar number?
I don't
we're
feel like
looking
it's
for?
possible.
I'd like to have it done like in reality. So I'm going to take the Jeep to Bray and drop it off. And then at some point between dropping the Jeep off to Bray and picking the Jeep back up, I would like to do the SAS. But I'm going to say I'd probably like ideally like maybe over 2 weeks.
That's
like the whole thing, front and rear.
Oh, rear.
Yeah, the whole axle swap.
Oh, you're going to full Super Duty it in 2 weeks. I mean, that still seems ambitious. Not undoable, though.
So are you betting on 2 weeks then?
Like, I'm just saying, like, do we need to bet on it?
I don't know.
If I get it done in a weekend, it's just literally bragging rights to look at Mike and be like, look, I told you I could do it in a weekend.
If you get it done in 3 days, I'll buy you a steak dinner.
And we're back after some minor iPhone battery problems.
Yeah.
Maybe you should look into getting a wireless charger for the studio so you can just put that on the charger.
Yeah, that would probably be a pretty good idea there, wouldn't it?
We should look into that. The patrons will help us with that, I bet you.
Yes. So we were in the end wrap up of your wheeling trip. So nobody broke anything, which is epic.
Yeah, it was just kind of a good trip. I mean, we saw some guys from the Great American Crawl doing things. There was a particular, I want to say Jeep, that had like a supercharged engine and like 43s. And you would have thought, and I wish I knew more about this rig, but everyone was just kind of like rolling their eyes. You'd have thought this thing would have destroyed everything in the Badlands. And he was struggling to go up stuff that we go up.
Huh.
It was like all he knew was like, I know skinny pedal.
Throttle.
It's like skinny pedal is all I know.
You're talking about gridlock.
Sure.
He's not on 43s.
No, he's on 46s.
A 46, yeah, it was an absolutely huge, powerful rig, and you would think that it would just destroy it. It did not. It was weird. And we were all just kind of like,
really?
You're making a lot of noise.
Huh.
Can you stop making so much noise?
It's a pretty legit rig.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be, but it was not impressive at all.
Huh.
He seemed like a nice guy. He passed by and, waved and all that, but I was not impressed.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint.
It's all good. It's not your rig. You don't have to be sorry.
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, gridlock. Is it like army green, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gridlock.
Yeah. Yep. 20s, 46s. It's got the engine that's in it's a
North
LSA.
Star. Or it's an LSA. For some reason, I thought someone said
it's
it was
an LSA, yeah, supercharged.
Weird. Okay.
Yep. So quick side note, as I'm editing the podcast here, I was going back through this and I was like, is it an LSA? It is not. It is an STS-V 4.4 liter supercharged North Star engine. So Mike is correct and I was wrong. Just want to add that in. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the episode.
It definitely, it made a lot of noise.
Yep. It made a lot of noise. It sounded good doing nothing.
Yeah.
How'd
That's
your rig
interesting.
do?
Oh, geez. Snow Day? Snow Day did great.
Did good?
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
But like no exhaust leaks.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Oh.
You could actually like just hear the TBI doing it. Yeah. No exhaust leaks. Just a perfectly smooth, man. It was just a good trip. I mean, like,
because you just replaced, for those who haven't followed along or whatever, you just replaced that engine with a different TBI engine that you had.
That's right. I pulled the engine. I blew up Snow Day's engine just going down the interstate. Nothing too fun. Lost compression on 3 and 5. Don't know what it is yet. Decided instead of checking that, I would pull the engine out of my 91, which is also a TBI 350. It's lowered. It's a really pretty truck. And I'm going to LS swap that one. I'm actually in the process of doing that right now. Just got the engine on the stand a couple days ago. But anyway, Snow Day, just got a new heart transplant. Got a new exhaust system on last Thursday, the day before the trip.
Perfect.
I pulled it out of the shop. I flushed the cooling system because I was trying to, be diligent. Because, I figured I just resealed the whole engine. I should, get all that junk out of there.
Yep. Pulled
it outside, turned it off. Put the trailer ramps down, go to turn it back on. Does not turn on. And I'm like, cool. So I'm at work, got my truck, got my trailer, got Snow Day, nothing. So I find that the positive cable is like, that goes to the starter is like half gone and like completely corroded. And I'm like, that must be it. And everyone's like, yeah. I'm like, but what if it's a starter? Like, yeah, but look at that cable. I'm like, yeah, but replacing a positive battery cable is a lot of work. Replacing a starter is pretty easy. So I pulled the starter off and hook it up to the battery. It doesn't do a fucking thing. We tried tapping on it, everything completely dead. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a positive battery cable anyway. I'm going to go to Napa. I'm going to get both. And they're like, well, we got this and this. And I was like, none of that's what I need. I was like, I needed to go to the fucking computer. I needed to go to the alternator. I needed to go to the starter. I was like, this ain't going to work. So I'm just going to throw the starter on there and see what happens. And that half gone, completely corroded battery cable, that starter turns over to like it's got a brand new wire on it. So apparently that wasn't the issue.
Wire is, albeit compromised, not the problem.
Granted, it is on the list. It's at the top of the list right now of things I need to do is replace that positive battery cable. It's like $40 in Rock Auto. I'll just do it. But yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
the starter. So I got the starter replaced in the parking lot. I'm fucking at work. All my tools are inside and I'm laying on the ground in the parking lot because nobody wants to help me push fucking Snow Day's heavy ass back in the shop and on the lift. There were like 2 guys left and they were busy and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, fine, I'll just fucking do it in the parking lot.
Fuck you guys.
It was like 65 and sunny. I didn't care. It was fine. It's 2 bolts, but still,
Right.
still, I was like, really, this is happening the night before the trip? Of course.
That's how wheeling
That's how it
trip.
It's
goes,
always
right?
that.
Yep.
So I got that finished, got it on the trailer.
You get those
and
omens like, oh, am I not?
I'm not supposed to go.
Yes.
Is it time?
But yeah, she made it. She wheeled great. It Snow Day just kind of works.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's the next trip for you? What's your
Hell
next planned trip?
Ooh, I actually have no idea.
What?
I need to pull.
What are you doing for Memorial Day?
You know, I knew Memorial Day was coming up. I wasn't sure when it is. When is Memorial Day? Everybody goes wheeling on Memorial Day.
Well,
This
it's
weekend?
This weekend.
Are
So.
you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my God, it's this weekend.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to go to work Monday. You're good.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, do I though? Memorial Day is weird where we work. It's like sometimes we're closed, sometimes we're open with like a 2-person staff. It's very strange.
Well, that's un-American.
It's the weirdest thing.
That is
it's like they
strange.
just decide on a whim like the day before if we're open or not. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Okay, first of all, did not know that was this weekend. I got something on Friday and something on Saturday. So if I was going to go wheeling, it would have to be
Not going four-wheeling.
Sunday.
I'm unquarantined Sunday.
I mean, if I was going to go, man, I just went wheeling though. I just went wheeling
so
like
go
2
to the
weeks ago.
Badlands on a whim Monday. Send it.
On a Monday? I'd go on a Sunday. I wouldn't go on a I don't like wheeling the day before I got to go to work.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
You're going to go wheeling on Monday.
Who is?
You are. Did you just say I'm doing it?
I am.
You're going wheeling on Monday, on Memorial Day. Wow.
Who said that?
You.
I thought you just said that.
That's what we heard you say.
No.
You said I'm doing
No,
it. I
I
heard the
said
words
it.
from you, Steve Summers, say I'm doing it.
Gotta love going through Discord when it's cutting out like a son of a bitch. We were
Okay.
fine for an hour.
Okay.
All we
Now it's
heard
just
was
breaking up.
I'm doing it. So
We heard you say I'm doing
I'm
it,
just
so-
saying. We heard you say I'm doing it. It's on record.
Huh.
You know, yeah, it sounds like you're going wheeling on Monday.
Maybe I did. I just didn't. I don't know.
So the moral of the
I don't
story
know
is
what
you're
I'm
not
doing
doing
yet.
it?
So you're not
probably what I
wheeling
said.
on Monday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Not to my knowledge currently.
It's shocking how that only cut out the
Not
yet.
to say that I may not go, but I.
Of all the words it could have cut out on, it was the yet. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We just didn't
I'm
hear the
doing
Y,
it.
so we
I'm
heard
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
It. Instead
That's
of
what it is. Yeah. That's what you didn't hear. I don't know what you heard. I'm doing yet.
That's hilarious.
You're like, yeah, you're doing it. Okay. You're doing what?
Oh boy.
It's great.
So you don't know
The
when your next
complications
wheeling
of
trip is.
mobiling.
I deleted the EGR off the new engine and I need to send the computer out, so it'll be down for however long that takes to get back.
Okay.
I haven't done it yet. I'm just
That's
saying
a
I
bummer.
need to do that.
Yeah.
So it'll probably take a week or two, I assume.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not too bad then.
It's like $70. It's not that expensive. It's just I don't
Right.
want it to set a check engine light.
10-4.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't have any immediate
Nice.
plans to go wheeling again. I mean, I'd like to make it down to Missouri again sometime. Sometime this year, maybe go to Flat Nasty or S'more. I really enjoy those parks.
Yeah, when my Jeep gets back from Bray, we need to start moving towards making a plan to do that because I
That
would love
would
to go back
be-
down there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a
I'm gonna
lot
drop
of
the kid off the grandparents for. Yep. I'm
We
gonna
could
drop
get a
Owen off at the
cabin when we're
grandparents for a
down
weekend.
there.
I'm gonna grab Jess and we're just gonna go. Mm-hmm.
When's
yeah.
The
when's
whole
the
shebang.
Jeep
I
go get
really want to
the-
go back to a park other than Badlands.
When's the Jeep get all the
Seriously.
makeover?
Well, so the Jeep can go there as soon as Monday the 31st or the 1st or whatever that date is.
Uh-huh.
Because literally, Tuesday the 1st. So it can be there as
so
early
a
as
week
Monday.
from tomorrow, or actually a week from today, assuming this podcast,
Yeah.
as the listeners
A week
would
from
hear.
today,
Yep.
it can
Yeah.
go there.
So
I'm gonna steal your spot.
Bray says he doesn't mind if it shows up. Bray says he doesn't mind if it shows up a little bit late. If I want to try to get the stiffeners on, And if I want to get the if I want to try to get the rockers on, he's like, it's his last hurrah. It's his last project before baby shows up.
I guess I should probably steal your spot then.
If you're ready to go, you got to get it.
I mean, I can load Snow Day today and bring it down there tomorrow.
Spot block him.
Spot block and be like, oh, sorry,
Yeah,
me and
you
Bray
should
made
do
a
that.
deal. I talked to Steve. Steve said it was cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
See,
What are you
Matt,
trying to get done
YWL, like, I mean, you have to do it now.
Somebody, I'm sorry, I'm going to be building a cage for Snow Day for the next 2 months.
Somebody
Sorry.
will call you out on Facebook this next week. That's going to be like, if you don't take his spot, like,
Oh, someone's going to be mad. I'm not going to take his spot. I don't have that kind of money lying around.
Somebody's
not for
gonna-
cages, at least.
Oh,
Maybe for LS swaps, I do.
What do you want to do to Snow Day? You put a cage in it?
Yeah, definitely. Just not right now. I mean, as soon as possible, but also I'm doing an LS
Right.
swap right now, so I should probably focus my money on something.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, right. It's not like it's not like the LS swap needs to be done yesterday though. So
Also
Okay, then I'll steal your spot.
you only drive that truck 3 times a
That's what
year.
it sounded like he offered.
It sounds like
so.
Steve's asking me to steal a spot. He's like, you don't drive the 91 ever. That's a
Yeah,
good
you better
point.
hurry.
I could get the LS swap done in 2 years. It
Right.
wouldn't even matter.
Yep.
But
Oh man.
a cage is important, but I don't know. I want Bray to do it, and obviously you want Bray to do yours too. And so it's like,
Yeah.
when is he going to be able to do that? And I'm thinking maybe never.
Yep.
Like
I
maybe
would
limitless
just-
fabrication is just done once he has a baby. I could be
You got
wrong.
to think. I mean, you got to think about how organized Bray is.
Oh,
when it
he'll
comes down
figure it
to it.
out. He's way
You know
more
what I'm saying?
organized than
Yeah.
you, that's for sure.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. And so like when he says he's going to do something, like he just puts a plan down and then he does that.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? So if it takes longer, he'll just be like, oh, it just takes longer.
That's true.
So yeah, Bray is way
No,
more
he'll be
organized than
fine.
I am.
He didn't build that building just to forget about it.
Oh yeah.
He's got a nice business
He's
set
still
up.
going to do side work. So
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
side work's going to be there.
Plus, that's probably going to put
Yep.
the baby through college.
Oh yeah.
Harvard, here you come.
Here he
It'll
comes.
be all in how things go once the babies show up. But you know, you never know if everything goes real super smooth with Loki. If I was able to get the stiffeners and stuff put on it and get the rockers put together and get that thing over to him soon.
Mhm.
If everything went real smooth with Loki, he might entertain the idea of taking yours on as a to get him to baby.
Well, I
I
guess
don't know if you'd want your truck. I don't know if you'd want your truck to be there that long though. Like I feel like maybe you should do it like over winter.
that would make more sense.
Right. Like I feel like baby's coming in September, maybe by like December, January, maybe he'll have an idea of what's going on. You
Now
know,
is prime time wheeling season.
That's true. The weather's nice right
Right,
now.
exactly.
It'd be nice to be out and about.
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna take a month off of mine and just let it sit, which is fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, you
Doesn't
have
bother me a
to,
bit.
obviously, with a big job like that or a big project or whatever. And sometimes it's a
Right,
lot longer
and-
than that. I mean, it could be months or years or whatever. So,
I feel much better if I was to have a cage in it going down to like s'more and stuff like that.
absolutely. I mean, you try your hardest not to roll your rig, but,
Right.
How'd that
it
work
does
out
happen.
for you?
Yeah, well. I didn't try my hardest not to roll it. I was actually kind of trying to roll it if everybody had watched. I wish there was a video of that. It's like, is Mark trying to roll his rig? And then it just does.
I can close my eyes and I can still see sitting in the Toyota going, the fuck's he going that high for? Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Oh, yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that one coming.
Tipped her right over.
Like a nice slow. Just
Well,
took a
if you're
nap.
going to roll, at least
Nicely
roll nice
done.
and slow and nobody gets
On the
hurt.
passenger side.
right?
Yeah.
Or fall into your passenger seat.
Yeah. Nice squishy landing on the passenger seat.
Yeah, Corey was nice enough to
Right.
be my pillow.
Your body pillow.
And he turned my truck off.
What a nice guy.
That was so nice. I'm
Nice.
like laying on top of him and he just reaches up and turns the ignition off. And I was like, thanks.
And now that motor is no more.
Yeah, and that's probably why, because it didn't have oil pressure for 3 seconds.
3 whole seconds. Took it out, what, a couple
3 whole
years
seconds.
later?
Yeah, and then like 5
Yep.
years later, the motor goes out.
Yes.
That's all my fault.
That's it.
Cool. So, Mike, you need to put a wheeling trip on your calendar because you need a goal. Steve's got his plan. My plan, we're doing
Yep.
race shit next
You're just doing
weekend.
razor stuff. I wish you were doing truck stuff. I miss wheeling with you.
We can go wheeling anytime you want to.
That's not true.
That's not true. I don't have that much time.
Exactly, because I'll be like, all right, this weekend, razor stuff. This weekend, golf cart duty.
razor stuff.
This weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I am not doing any off-road stuff. I got to get the Razor ready to use at our .1 race at Hooter Holler the following weekend, but I don't have to go anywhere. But then we're coming up on like Visions too, couple Ultra 4 races, a couple .1. It's going to be
hot and heavy.
June and July for us is like almost every single weekend we're going somewhere.
That's insane.
It's going to be wild.
That's too much. You got to relax sometimes. You just got to fucking sit in your yard.
Put the fucking hammer down.
Okay.
11,000 miles of driving to off-road parks this year.
I'd prefer to chill a bit
Mike,
more than that.
We're not as smart as you.
Yeah.
You guys need to chill, man. I just literally chill. Like sometimes on the weekend for like a whole day, I'll just like kind of sit outside in the shade, just drink some beer.
Drove 6 hours.
I won't do anything.
6 hours to race
chill.
the Razor for, I think our qualifying time was like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and then about 7 minutes in the race, and then turned around and drove another 6 hours back home.
I don't like it.
Wow.
I don't want to do
Let's
that.
do it again.
I just want to chill. Even when I go off road, when I'm done for the day, I'm like, I want nothing more than to chill.
Yep.
And then in the morning, it's like, are we in a hurry? No, we're going to chill today too.
Gotta go. Gotta get it.
It's nice.
It's true.
Gotta go. Gotta get it. I don't know if that's the answer, really. I think Mike has the right idea.
I don't know.
You can have fun and
I
chill.
really do.
Gotta party. Party hard. Throttle down.
I mean, I guess that's one way to do
Look
it.
how less stressed Mike is, though.
I know. I live for the stress as much as I hate it. I live for it, I guess.
It seems Ian's is self-inflicted.
Inflicted.
Like it's like he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't need to do any of this. I'm going to.
I'm
But
going
Steve is
to.
like, it's like, your life is that. It's just like
Yep.
kid, podcast, polishing, several projects. Like,
Excellent
It's all
projects.
self-inflicted.
it's all self-inflicted too, I guess.
That kid did not show up unwarranted.
That's true. It's
I
not
was trying real hard, Mom.
I was trying not to have a kid and then had one.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the case.
yeah. I guess that's a good point. I mean, you kind of do it to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Right.
choose
Oh, for
to
sure.
knock something out.
Yeah, I schedule way too much stuff. But that is my life. If I don't
10-4.
schedule something, then I get antsy.
Where can we find all the parts you need for your off-road rig?
Is there a
Complete
place?
off-road.
Is there such a place?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Complete off-road.
Complete off-road. Do they have everything?
Complete off-road. All the parts your car will ever need. Complete off-road.
Is their phone number 563-583-5364?
No.
No.
Is it 563-583-5363?
That sounds about
Yes.
right.
Okay.
There are no fours in the number.
Call Chris at Complete Off-Road for all your stuff. Hit up the Crawler Off-Road guys. I finally got me a synthetic snatch recovery ring thing.
Cha-ching.
Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I think I think I need to pay him for that. I think I forgot to send him money for those.
That's just
Oh,
part of
boy.
the podcast sponsorship. He's just slinging parts
What
at
if I
you.
just never pay him? He'll just punch me next time.
He might punch you.
Yeah, he'd punch me.
He'd
He
get
might.
Fred
I don't
on
know.
you.
Fred
Like his guard dog.
Fred would go whoop ass.
Fred your
Fred
ham
would
on
need
you.
to get DJ to come over.
Whooping ass. He'd probably wreck me next race.
He'd wreck you on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, did you need a recovery? Sorry for you.
He just keeps pushing it over. No, you will not recover your shit. So check out Crawler Off-Road for all your recovery needs. We talked about it earlier. Off-Road Anonymous. Their trailer tie-down tabs are on sale this week again.
Ooh, trailer talk.
Nice.
Talking about trailers again. But also Super ATV dealer. So any of your side-by-side stuff, make sure you go through him and he will take good care of you.
Thanks for joining us for episode 75. You know where to find us at Total Off-Road Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you go check out the Trail Riders page. The on Instagram at total_offroad_podcast and on YouTube as well. You can check us out over there on YouTube. If you want to check out the Patreon, everything, links to all this stuff is in the show notes. If you want to just open that up and check your show notes, you can get all the links to all of our locations, including our website at www.totaloffroadpodcast.com. Mike, any last words?
Just remember to take time to chill.
Nice.
Take time to chill.
He didn't even have
Nice.
that wrote down. That was right off the
No.
cuff. That was nice.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the trail.